Alright, welcome. Hi, this is Foul, and welcome to turn 0 of Broken Alarm Clock. There we go. Let's say that properly. A new LA game that I'm in. This is starting on the 21st, so the Sunday after the game came out. Just to give you reference for how unskilled the gameplay is, we still don't really know what's going on. Alright, this is once again hosted in the General Confusion Discord server. If you want to play games, come hang out. We're cool. And a bunch of nerds. Alright, let's get in here. Okay. Alright, we have a very small cave system, which is okay. It's not... I kind of was hoping for bigger, but we'll survive. Let us go through the pretenders. There are 10 of us. We have for Pythium and alright, let me pull up the player list actually. On Pythium we have Jackalore, who is a good player, and by default kind of the best player at Dominion 6 out of all of us, because he has more experience than the rest of us. He's on Pythium, which is the LA Rome nation. They're no longer Christianized in LA. They're kind of back to the mystery. They've turned into like the mystery cult. So they no longer have like super big astral, but they do have like big nature-ish. Well, for the late age, they have big nature, but they have literally every path. So that'll be interesting. So you can pull off some big shenanigans with him. From the name, he seems to have gone with a trinity, which is interesting. I'm wondering what he's trying to pull. The Princess of Order, the Vessel of Might, and the Author of Life. So that's nature, obviously. High Order. Don't know exactly which that one is. One of these days I'm going to look up the epitaphs and see what they mean. We are the Omnipotence Paradox, which plays into our bless. We have weightlessness, reinvig, and a couple other things to make our blind fighters go from just kind of recruit everywhere sacreds to pretty decent and solid blind holders. So yeah, points to anyone who gets the reference of the name of our god, who is the king of earthquakes and the mountain lord. Our god is high air, death, and earth. We have General Confusion with incredibly stern grandfather from TNG. Lady TNG is like the Yuan dynasty, so they've lost a lot of the like troops. Notably, they lost their crossbows. They do have composite bows who have been buffed, while crossbows have been kind of left the same, so that'll be interesting. I believe he's mentioned he's going like a heavy bless on these ancestor vessels, so we'll see how that goes. They also have like these actually kind of thuggable dudes, despite being old. So that's a thing. We have Garsamore on the Celestial Bureau of Immigration, aka Joman. The name is referencing his plan to go underwater as fast as humanly possible and hope Atlantis doesn't kill him. Yeah, it's Joman. He's got a lot of titles, so decent Dominion, I guess. Anyone who's played Dominions knows that Joman's a bit of a joke, so we'll see how Garsamore did it. He swore he would play Joman in the first LA game of Dominion 6, hoping that they were buffed. They were in fact kind of nerfed, so he's a bit sad. We have, let me pull it up. Galzius, I think it is. Galzon, my bad. On LA Cetis, who recently got buffed with and they have the pretender Queen Lizard Beth. Pretty great. So they got buffed with like these dudes who are really good. Um, they got a bunch of and crossbowmen. So Lysitis has crossbowmen now, and then also their Dominion free spawns dead, long dead. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, they have these Banefire crossbow dudes, which seem like they shouldn't be like a footnote, but they kind of are. We have a goblin heading up Vadheim, commanded by Artsenhaus, King of Hunting, the Rock, Foundation, the Long Winter. So cold and earth, and I think nature. Or that's either cold or water. I think it's cold. Vadheim is goblins and witches. They got glamour instead of nature now, but they can still get nature random, so I'm not sure how they'll do. They have a ton of like these size 2 dudes, so you know, fit 5 to a square, which I guess is technically a nerf compared to Dominions. Was Dominions 5 because there were 6 to a square back then. They got these guys, the Rimveti, who are like tiny Nephil giants. They're size 2 Nephils, basically. Nephil goblins, as you were. They are interesting guys. They don't have the... No, they do. They do have the show aura. So in Dominion 6, one of the new things is that the auras like combine together to create this like expanding cloud if you have enough of them, which I think you could definitely pull off with the Rimveti. We have the Elephant of the Room, commanded by Seshar. There's a lot of overlap in the players between this one and the other one that I'm in, mostly because like a lot of us decided that social lives and stuff are you know, flexible, and therefore we can play 2 Dominions games simultaneously. We will probably come to regret this decision, but Seshar is on Feminie, one of the new successor nations. I was actually originally going to play Feminie, but they just didn't click with me, so I switched over to my Set Boys. They have like a really powerful mage core and research bases, but like terrible troops. The only troops here that are actually kind of good are their knights, who are like, you know, standard knights, and then their sacreds, who are like incredibly stealthy and glamored. So they're kind of like pseudo elves, and they hit decently hard. Next we have Poor Life Choices, which is in fact Herdalas on La Picogne, the Hobbit successor nation to Glorious Ind. They are size 2 dudes that are really slow. They all have gluttony, so they consume the supplies of a dude that's a full-sized human. They've inherited a bunch of Ind shticks, like these guys, like all their cap only soldiers are all sacreds. They can increase their number of sacred recruits by building temples, etc. Protector from insanity. Poor Life Choices, Protector from Insanity. I have to screenshot that because that is just hilarious. Yeah, so their thing is they have astral, earth, and then they can have some of the randoms Ind has, so water, fire, and nature. They're a big communion nation, long and short of it. They have got the big priests. They got recruitable holy threes. They have bird knights for raiding, which are like okay, I guess. I haven't really seen these guys in use. These are the old strange... These are the strange birds that attacked Piconia in MA that they've tamed. We have President for Life for Andromania, which is the Republic, if you read up here. They're cool. They're my favorite of the new ally nations. Their troops are really scary and solid. Everyone's got a secondary attack from biting people. They're all decently armored. They're all really heavily armored on the head, just only kind of moderately armored on their chest, their body, but they all hit really hard because of their superhuman stats, basically. Yeah, they are really big. They're fire, earth, astral, and nature. Then they can get some water. They also they also can get 5% of their baseline worker mages get death or blood. So not like a ton to do, not like a ton of access to like really ramp into it, but it is there for notable thing. And then we have Atlantean Penis Ending 2.0, which is Dead Salmon. He said that his build was in fact just because he couldn't really go full scales anymore with Atlantis, which is what you really usually want, because they don't really need anything, because their sacreds here are just kind of okay. They're not even better than their normal troops. Oh, I took cold, and there's LA Atlantis in the thing. Oh well. That's not the best idea, but it's what's happening. And so he basically said he turned his sacreds into sacred killers, is what he did with his bless, because he couldn't go full scales. We, for the record, did go full scales. We have Order 3, Product 3, with Cold 2, partly because I have access to cold auras on a bunch of my undead, so I figured I might as well try to make use of that. We did take Misfortune 2 just for some points. I'm not a big, as I've mentioned before, I'm not a huge fan of Misfortune. However, it's very thematic for Agartha, because nothing in Agartha's history ever goes well for them, so, you know. Our starting recruitment is simple. I hold shift, I click this button. Cave Knights are amazing, and they do good work. We're going to sneak over here. Let's see what we can see up above ground. Okay, so we are basically underwater. Okay, so there's a secondary cave system, apparently, nearby that leads into, that's here. I'm presuming it doesn't lead into my cap, because I would see a connector. But it did spook me there for a moment. But yeah, so we have this, this will be a, we have a throne. Okay, that's decent over there, depending on what the throne is. So we're going to go through and we're gonna very quickly clear out the cave. We're probably gonna go, alright, to one of these two, and then up here, through here, into the Caves of Madness, then up out. And then our second expansion party is gonna go into the Hot Hollow, and the other one, and then come up and out. And then we're probably gonna fort right one of these, probably this province or this province, depending on like population and stuff. This is plains and mountains, so it probably has more resources. This has fewer magic sites, low resources, but high income. Okay, so probably Chalad here, but we'll see from the scouting. But yeah, it's oh, first we have to one sec, we have to come up with our prophet name. That's the word. Sorry. I'm double checking on who proposed. Sadia gone. Gone. The alternative funny one is, but actually, subterranean go on the Prophet. There we go. Before I forget, next turn, we have Agartha has the advantage. Let's go over the nation real quick. So Agartha is fully human. We no longer have any of the pale ones. They've all died off. Sad face. And so we are a bunch of cave-dwelling humans that mourn and revere and look up to the dead, the passed away pale ones. Sorry, just having a sip of my tea. We have just like the pale ones, we have quite a bit of earth. However, because we are humans and revering them, we lean way more into death than the pale ones did. So our big guys can be Earth 3, Death 3, have some astral for some shenanigans, or fire. We have these alchemists who can get all the paths but air plus death. So these guys are great at side searching. We'll probably make one of those real quick. The other thing that we got added is this right here. So Corpse Stitcher. This is healer for undead, and it's really cool. So we have a lot of undead summons. We are practitioners of ethical necromancy around here. Ooh, we got construction. Interesting. I would have liked enchantment, but I will take construction. So if we look, no, they're under earth technically, right? So if we look at enchantment 2, we have reanimate ancestor, which gives us a commander version, but we also have iron corpse reanimation, which creates a bunch of we take a bunch of guys, we turn them into semi-robots, and we raise them from the dead as robot zombies, essentially. Don't worry, they agree to it. The problem is they come in with afflictions. However, not to worry, we have great health care for the undead. So our corpse stitchers will fix them right up. On the flip side, in conjuration, and if I get the death key, because these are death based. So in enchantment we have our kind of human style undead that we're taking our human fallen and bringing them back as like enhanced warriors. In the conjuration, we can call up the dead of the past. So we have the penumbrals and the umbrals, who are pale ones that were killed and warped when the seal of the fallen gods had been shattered in the early age. Then we also have the shard whites, who are the former the former sacreds of the early age. We have the sepulcrals, who are the seal guard from early age that are brought back as sacred undead. And then we have awakened tomb oracles down here. Tomb oracles are great. They are a death 3, earth 3 caster that is inanimate, mindless, and all sorts of things. They're kind of like a golem. You can do really cool stuff with them. They're also holy 3s, so I can claim thrones with them. And then we have Hall of the Dead down here, which just summons up a ton of dudes, tons of shard whites. Well, getting to this is a good late game goal for us, as is Chthonian Legion here as the Earth counterpart in Enchantment 6. So this sums up 30 of our human style undead. They are pretty great. overall. They're not like, highly skilled or anything, but they're undead. So we're gonna be doing, like, we are a big death nation. I don't have like blood or anything, or I have some astral, but not enough to like really do reliable communions. You may be wondering what the flame corpse construction is. This is we turn a body into a bomb. It's the long and short of it. So we'll probably not use that because it's a meme, but not great. Let me check on the other one. Yeah, and then the nightmare is just basically we take a horse. Yeah, so yeah, we take a dead horse and we turn it into a bomb. It's like a horse, so it kicks things or anything, but then when it dies, it explodes. Same thing with the other humans. They don't just explode. They like as their only attack, but they fight until they explode. Obviously not like the greatest use of resources, but we might make some to be funny, or if the situation calls for it, which I doubt it will. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on and the general game plan. So I will see you all in turn 2.